Para quem não sabe, eu sou fanático. Sou viciado em ver canais de animação. E de certa forma, cada um que aparece a minha feita é melhor que o anterior. Mais ou menos. Alguns são muito bons, outros são médios. Mas eu posso dizer do fundo do meu coração que as coisas podem ir de mal a pior. Ou não. Isto vai cair tão mal. Bom, o canal chama-se Jaiden Animation. Eu conheci agora há pouco, há uma hora. O canal teve a dar uma olhada, tem uns milhões de subscritores. E ela conta histórias, basicamente. Conta histórias sobre a vida dela e tal. E como ela passou muito. E nós vamos ver, pá, uns 5 ou 6 vídeos dela. 5 ou 6 vídeos. Beleza. Podemos até ver 6, já que os vídeos são grandes, mas... Podem reparar que os vídeos dela não tem uma animação assim, tipo, tão espetacular, mas, mano, ela é muito boa do que ele faz. Então, vai uma youtuber americana. Deixa-me ver mais. Que eu já vi a maior parte dos mais interessantes. Ela parece também um grande fã de Pokémon, por assim dizer. Bom, vamos com este. Injuries e being sick. Injuries, eu não sei o que é, e ficar doente. É isso. Basicamente. Estou a dar aqui uma olhada em vários para nós vermos juntos. Supostamente não era para isto ter acontecido, mas eu posso fechar, abrir uma nova e pumba. E gente, como eu... Cara, a animação não é tão incrível, mas é boa. É boa, uma animação boa. Eu gostei da animação. Bom, vamos lá. React de animação. Animação, yeah. Isto vai ser bom.
Being sick is the pits. I should know, because I'm sick right now. You can probably hear it in my disgusting nasally voice, and I probably shouldn't be recording a YouTube video right now. But you know what? Life stops for no one, and I'm not gonna get... Being sick is the pits. I should know. Probably shouldn't be recording a YouTube video right now. But you know what? Life stops for no one, and I'm not gonna get left behind. But for real, I was like, I need to get started on the next video, but my voice sounds like I drowned in cheese graters. Whatever. Let's talk about being sick. It's relevant enough. I'm fortunate to have a really good immune system. I never get sick. Believe it or not. From elementary school through high school, guess how many days I've missed from being sick? Don't guess. I'm gonna tell you anyway. It's 2. And they were back to back, so I was just really dying that one time. I mean, sure, I've gotten sick here and there, and my mom was just like, oh, you're fine, pack your bag, you're going to school. Missing arm? If the lizards can regrow their limbs, so can you. So that number doesn't tell everything, but I think 2 is a pretty good score to have over 12 years. I'm not like a crazy germaphobe, though. I don't go out of my way to avoid being exposed to sickness or actively try to kill any bacteria that may give me some sniffles. Sometimes I forget to wash my hands. I heard that kids who are more exposed to being sick...
Estava com legendas e as legendas morreram. As legendas apenas foram para o caneco. Boa. Ok, histórias de pais.
I, like many people, have parents. And even better, I think they're pretty good ones. My mom and dad have always wanted the best for me and my brother and didn't let us do stupid stuff like lean back too far in our chairs at the dinner table. So good job on not letting us be stupid, guys. Thumbs up, gold star. Well, I did lean back too far that one time, but I'll give you a pass on that one. And I learned my lesson. Everyone has some sort of guardian figure in their life, and I'm always going to be grateful I was able to grow up in a loving family with good parents. There's been ups and downs, arguments, disagreements, but when it all comes down to it, they're just looking out for me. Jaiden, tie your shoes before riding your bike.
What do you know?
I'm actually at a big step in my life right now because I'm moving out of their house. I'll finally be out of the nest, making my own choices. A free bird. If I want to have oatmeal for dinner, my family's not gonna be there to walk in and look at me weird. I don't care about your oatmeal as a breakfast food. I like it and will eat it when I desire. Just watch me. Moving out has made me think a lot about my life growing up and everything my parents have done for me to be able to get to this point. And even though I can totally make a heartfelt video about all the sacrifices they've made and nights they've spent caring for me, I'm gonna talk about funny, stupid stuff because that makes a better YouTube video. I'm on my own now. I got bills to pay. When I was little, I wasn't a picky eater. I'm pretty sure I ate most anything on my plate. Some kids are all, no, I do not like the taste of this mush and will not consume it no matter what you tell me. I will sit here with a pouty lip and arms crossed for all eternity in this high chair, and when I die of starvation, it will be your fault. Hun, just eat the friggin' carrots. Even though I wasn't a picky eater, my parents would always make up games to try and get me to eat stuff I still didn't like. One night we were all at the dinner table and my mom had the brilliant parent idea of saying, hey, how about we have a contest of who can eat the most green beans the quickest? Harmless, right? She was just thinking it would be an easy and sneaky way for us to get in more vegetables. But she underestimated my power. You dare challenge me? Not only will I win, but I will eat the most green beans you've ever seen anyone eat in their entire life. I ate so many green beans in such a short amount of time that night. I won, obviously, because everyone else was a scrub. But after dinner, I got really sick and my mom's plan kind of backfired. But I still won, so. Besides the infamous green bean eating contest, which we never did again, my mom always had a who can make the loudest carrot crunch competition. I don't need to explain the rules, it's right in the name. My brother and I would go crazy over that contest. We didn't even think about how we were eating carrots. We just wanted to defeat everyone else. It wasn't until recently I was thinking about it and went, wait, did you make that contest just so we'd eat more carrots? Yeah. Betrayal. Even my mom's sister was tricky with my cousins and getting them to eat their vegetables. My mom told me stories about how when my cousin was just barely learning numbers and counting, they'd be eating dinner and she'd say to my aunt, Mommy, I don't want any more carrots. How about you just eat 3 more? How about 5? Well, okay, fine. Parents have become the
Meu Deus, tipo, acho que ele não deve saber bater disso. Que tal 5? Meu Deus.
masters of getting kids to eat vegetables, which is good. I applaud them for it. Nutrition is important, kids. Like, how many times has your mom just randomly baked you brownies as a kid? And how many times did you think about if there was broccoli in it? Ha! Gotcha, kiddo! You're getting so much vitamin C and K right now, you don't even know! If you didn't know about that, there's a way you can hide broccoli in brownies as an easy way to get kids to consume more nutrients without them fighting you because they only want to live off sugar. Brownies are good at hiding a lot of stuff, actually. Have you ever heard of black bean brownies? There's ways you can add black beans to brownies and no one will even know. Here's one. Go and try it. If you want. It's a good way to add protein to your diet because everyone's so obsessed with protein, and for some reason society thinks it's the only macronutrient we ever need, and carbs are the devil and will destroy your life and kill everyone you love, and that's a tangent for another video. So yeah, to people who didn't know, you can hide broccoli in brownies, black beans, some people try other herbs. Let's move on. I'm gonna tell this story because it's kind of stupid and doesn't matter, but I'm still a bit salty about this, so you'll probably get a kick out of it. Every kid has their thing growing up. Some liked dolls, some liked cars, some liked pushing other kids off the swings. I was all about stuffed animals. They were my jam. Still kinda are. Anyway, one day I said, hey, I like stuffed animals, and I like Pokemon. Mom! Blaziken plush! Oh my frig! Don't say frig. My mind was blown. Two of my favorite things combined together. Blaziken was, and is, my favorite Pokemon, so I was desperate to have this Blaziken Pokédoll. I was willing to wash the dishes, clean the house, make a deal with the Underlord, sell lemonade, and since my mom's such a pushover, and since my mom's so nice, she let me and my brother pick out a Pokédoll we each liked. I, of course, picked out the Blaziken, and my brother got the Totodile one. And can we just stop and appreciate this Totodile, by the way?
É um pouco
Let's
estranho.
continue. So my mom ordered the plushes. They were like $20 or something, and we were pretty happy campers when they arrived. I loved that Blaziken doll for a really long time, but of course, as with most children and their toys, I started playing with it less after a while. I still liked it, but I gradually stopped bringing it everywhere and eventually just kept it in my closet. Maybe like a couple years ago, the memory of it just popped into my head, and I wanted to look at it again. Yeah, I remember all the fun times I had with that doll. I'd take it everywhere I went, I'd fall asleep with it. Where'd it go? I don't remember where it would be. Mom, do you know where my old Blaziken polka doll went? I can't find it. I got rid of it. You what? Sometime when my mom was going through all her stuff, she decided to get rid of my Blaziken polka doll without asking me. I was crushed. Well, that is a bit extreme. I went from having a normal day to having a bit of a less good day. But then I thought, wait, I'm an adult. I can just find another one and buy it myself. I don't need my mom's permission anymore. So I looked on Google to try and find a new Blaziken polka doll, and apparently now they're ultra rare collector's items that aren't even being sold anymore and freaking worth a crap ton of money. Now I'm having even less of a good day. Yeah, apparently these things are worth like more than $100 now, and everyone's desperate to have one, and we bought it when it was like $20. Mom, do you realize what you've done? So it's become my goal. Someday I will have another Blaziken polka doll. One, because I really like it. And two, I'm not a collector of anything, but now this might seem a bit evil to people in the rare collectors community. I want to have as many rare polka dolls as I can find, just because I'm not a collector. I want to have all these polka dolls that are super rare, and then a collector is like, holy crap, you have this set of Hoenn Starter Evolution polka dolls? Can I have them? And I can be like, no. Ah, do you realize how rare these are? Collectors like me would pay anything to have them. I know, and that's why I want it. I'm on a journey to
Eu
get
também estava que ela ia ter que ficar com ele só para colecionar, não para vender, mas tem um afeto especial por ela, por ela gostar de peluche e de Pokémon. Ok, eu entendo completamente o afeto dela por isso. Alguns são muito bons.
as many rare polka dolls as I can now. I think my target is Blaziken, Swampert, and
Oh,
Sceptile.
olha isso aqui, está giro. Isso aqui também. Está muito giro. É o mesmo lá, o Nintendo, mas aqui eu gostei mais. Isso aqui está estranho. Pode, olha, mas esse aqui parece mais menor que este.
Because it's the trio and they're my absolute favorite and they're stupid rare. It's an evil plan, I know, but I think it's funny. This video ended up being
Ok, bom, um canal muito bom. Eu vou deixar os vídeos todos do canal na descrição para quem quiser.
I've always
Isto é legenda para não. Não parece. Não está, infelizmente. Trancada fora de casa.
Welcome back to Jaiden doesn't know how to map out video lengths. Okay, so here's the story from Japan, getting home from Japan I was gonna talk about in the last video, but didn't. Please don't make fun of me. It was a long flight. I was very tired. Just kidding, I'm an actual idiot here. There's no excuse. So after another quick flight of 11 sleepless hours, I landed safely and was ready to go home and die. My roommate offered to pick me up, but my house is a good 40 to 50 minutes away from the airport, and I felt bad for making them pick me up so much because a week before I went to Japan, I was in the UK visiting friends for my birthday. Don't give me any birthday wishes. It was in September. You'll be an embarrassment to the both of us. They'd already driven me to and from the airport 3 times in the past 3 weeks, and I didn't want them to use up any more of their time and gas. So I let them know I was just gonna grab an Uber, which worked out because they were invited to go get lunch with a friend and were worried about time overlap. Win-win. They get a nice lunch, I get in a stranger's car. Warning flag number 1. I never used Uber before. I have my own car. I usually don't need to use an app to find a guy with a weird R name to drive me around. 10 minutes of confused button pressing later. Ding! Your Uber will arrive in 5 minutes. Nice.
A animação é boa, muito.
Hello?
Yes, is this Jaiden?
Yeah, I'm at the gate. Terminal B between area 44 and 45. I don't see you. Are you near... Hello? Your Uber has canceled. What? If we were on a date and I was waiting at the table and you called me from outside the restaurant like...
Deixa-me vir uma coisa rapidinha aqui, porque tu acho que ela tem Twitter. Calma lá. O vídeo estava no outro separador. Burro. Ok, acho que vamos ver só 3.
Yo, what's up, homesicles? I'm gonna talk.
É incrível que o canal dele tem quase 30 milhões de views, tipo, numa só vez. Oh, mano, o que é isto? O pior é a foto dele. É só o pastorinho dele. Mas o que achei mais graça foi isto. O que é isto? Ele tem já 1 milhão de seguidores no Twitter. Jesus. Dá bicos no teu olho. Meu Deus do céu. Espera lá, espera lá, espera lá. Quer ver uma coisa? Oxi? O que é isto? É um Pikachu versão estranho. Oh, mano.
Hey, you here? Yeah, I'm at the back in the table to the right.
You can't stand me up like that. At least give me some sort of reason. Come on, come back. Rajesh. Anyway, I found out that I needed to be on the upper level of the airport because that's where all the app pickups are. Whoopsie, that's my bad. But he could have told me that when he was on the phone with me in the first place. Rajesh.
Go up the stairs.
Boom. Everyone's problem is solved here. Here's a bunch of money. When you think about it, Uber is kind of like the opposite of a kidnapping. Take me home. I got a new Uber that took 15 minutes to arrive, and an hour later I was almost home. Maps can be kind of wonky with my house address, so we started driving past my neighborhood. It was back there. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Which one was it?
I live in a little community with a bunch of houses, so I said it was the one on the corner. Could have been more specific, but that's just what came to my mind in the moment. He turned around but stopped at the wrong house and was like, "This one?"
Não.
Look, I was running on no sleep for the past 20 hours, so my mush of a brain started being spazzy and socially anxious about the whole situation that wasn't even a situation. Almost all my brain... cells were dead at this point, except for the one that ate grass in elementary school. Oh, you had to correct him because Google Maps is being weird? I didn't know you were Satan. I felt like I was bothering him a whole lot with all the one corrections I gave him, so in a panic I was like, "This is the wrong house." Yep, this is it. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Sorry for the hassle. Wow,
Mas a animação pode ser
is it
simples,
great
não
to
com
be
muita
home
cor,
at
mas
this
é muito
house
boa.
that I live in again. Oh, how I missed it because it is mine. I'm paying this guy, and it's his job to take me to my house. So if it accidentally stops at the wrong one, it helps literally no one for me to be like, "Oh yeah, this is totally it." I've become a lot more socially confident and calm in the past year, but this is not a good example of that improvement at all. I am aware I look like a wreck right now. I got my stuff from the trunk, walked up the driveway. Thanks. Now I'm standing in the front step of this random house, hiding from an Uber driver, hoping the people who actually live here don't realize the random girl standing here for literally no reason. Yes, this is exactly the spot I wanted to be in right now. Honey, did we adopt a 21-year-old Asian girl, or is this a very unthreatening house robber? I was stuck there waiting for him to leave, but he was just sitting there! Hey, can you get off the driveway I don't own already? What the heck, man? I got houses to rob. He was probably waiting to get connected to a new person to pick up, but it wouldn't have looked that great if he was also noticing me poke my head out and peer at him every 10 seconds. I couldn't have started walking to my actual house because I already pretended to walk into my house, and he would have seen me and been like, "Hey, wait, this isn't your house. What the heck? You lied to me." For literally no reason. And I couldn't have gotten out of the car and started walking to my actual house in the first place because I told him that this was my house. He even double checked, like, "You sure this is good?" And I was like, "Yup." I was so loopy and lethargic from being up for the past 20 hours of traveling. I couldn't even tell what was reasonable at this point. Was I actually pulling this off like I thought I was? Were the neighbors just watching me dig myself deeper and deeper into this hole? Could the driver actually see me this entire time? Because that would have been hilarious. Mommy, look! A dirty homeless girl! He finally drove off, and I walked over to my actual house across the street. Yes, I've been looking forward to collapsing onto my bed since landing. I can't believe I just did all that. I'm glad the neighbors didn't call the police on me. I don't have any keys. This wouldn't have been a problem at all because, like I said, I have a roommate. But hey, foreshadowing, were you here this whole time? They were at lunch and weren't coming back for the next 3 hours. I'm not a professional when it comes to anything, and that includes breaking into houses. But lord dang it if that skill wouldn't have been pretty darn handy to have right there. Is it a crime to break into your own house, Your Honor? Yes? No? This is kind of a weird situation for both of us, ain't it? I tried the front door, the back door, the garage door, the secret door. There wasn't any way I was gonna be able to get into this house. Which is how it should be. But I was still mad about it. Dang it, living in a house that people can't break into. Stupid. I was so drained, I contemplated just laying on the ground of my backyard for 3 hours until someone came home. But I decided that would be an inefficient use of time and also too much of a depressing.
As luzeiras morreram outra vez. Fogo, meu.
For
O que está a passar com
me
as
to just-
lendas? Não consigo acabar de sair de casa das luzeiras, meu. Fogo. Porcaria. A diferença da animação de um vídeo para o
Yo,
outro.
what's up, homesicles? I'm gonna talk about substitute teachers. I wanna
Érita, quando vocês estão... Mesmo que o senhor não vai... Está tudo bem, não. Eu estou sentindo para já me conversa.
say for the most part, we all like having subs. You
No.
like walk into the classroom expecting it to be a normal day, and you glance over at the teacher, and boom, it's a sub. Yes, don't have to try today. Most subs are pretty cool. They don't really care too much either, and everyone just ends up having a nice easy break day. They have this attitude like, okay, so I'm just gonna pop in a movie or something, do whatever you want. I'm just here to make sure you don't all go Miley Cyrus wild and poke some kid's eye out with a ruler. But sometimes they don't care too much, and it gets kind of weird. Like once I had a math sub where we were just doing a worksheet or something, and this girl behind me was eating carrots, but all of a sudden she started choking on one of her carrots and was like gasping and gagging and stuff, and everyone turned around and was mortified. What do we do? We all looked over at the sub for help and guidance or something because of all people, he should have a plan. And he was just looking at her, not doing anything. I'm sure if the girl could have spoke at that time, she would have said, "Freaking, I'm choking on a carrot here. What are you looking at? Do something, you buffoon! Ah!" So for a small period of time, everyone was just helplessly looking at this poor girl choking on a carrot. No one knew what to do. Finally, one guy got up and did the choking Heimlich procedure they teach us. It was so legit. He even did the "are you choking" question like they say you have to. If you haven't heard of the technique, or for some reason they changed it, the steps are: approach the person and ask, "Are you choking?" Do not proceed if they are not choking. It actually says that. Get behind the person and wrap your arms around their waist. Be ready to support them if they faint. Take your fist and place the thumb side against their belly, just above their belly button. Grab the fist with the other hand and thrust into the belly. And the final step is repeat thrusts until the object pops out or until the person faints. So the girl didn't faint. He actually got the carrot out of her throat and everyone was relieved. And after all that hullabaloo, we all kind of looked over to see what the sub had to say about the situation, and nothing. He just watched the situation with a blank slate look on his face. Like, what the heck? What are you? I've never seen less of a reaction from such a big situation from anyone in my entire life. He should make a reaction channel, come to think of it. He'd blend in with most of the people on YouTube doing it already. Anyway, enough with Mr. Blank Slate. I remember when I was in high school, we had kind of a main group of substitutes that were common to have when a teacher called in sick or something. And there was this one old man guy that everyone knew and absolutely hated. And before you say something like, "Oh, Jaiden, that's kind of rude to say," in our defense, he hated us too. Whenever a person walked in and saw him sitting behind the teacher's desk, the immediate thought would be, "Oh, crap, it's gonna be a rough day today." No one had to say it, but we were all thinking it. "Okay, Jaiden, so what was he like?" "Oh, stand up so you can sit down because I'm getting started." Take the strictest person you know and throw them out the window because this guy is now that person. I think he saw himself as a military instructor leading juvenile delinquents because he wanted every child to be behaving perfectly, to a T, no funny business. And yeah, that's not gonna happen in a high school, so there's problem one. He would start every class with the same lecture.
Alright, sit down and zip up because we're taking attendance. If I hear any talking, you're being written up. I don't tolerate jokesters in my classroom. I'm going to call out your last name, followed by your first name, and if I don't hear you say present, then you're being marked absent. You should be paying attention, because you only have one chance, and I'm not calling names twice. If I pronounce your name wrong, correct me. Alright, here we go.
He says that exact paragraph every time he starts a class, and I know it because I've had him enough times to have it power washed into my head. I kinda wanna believe he has it written down and framed somewhere in his house so he can proudly look at it before he goes to bed every night. And he actually gets mad if you don't correct him if he says your name wrong. I know from experience. I don't care when people pronounce my name wrong. It happens all the time. I've gotten used to it. So I thought I wouldn't make a big deal out of it.
Animations Jaiden.
Here.
Did I say that correctly?
It's close enough.
Correct me next time.
Sorry? He reminds me of if, like, Oscar the Grouch had a pet lemon, but the lemon was expired by 2 months and he keeps forgetting to throw it away. Like, oh crap, the lemon. I'll do it tomorrow. And he doesn't do it tomorrow. So I'll call him Mr. Yet to be Thrown Out Lemon. Just for simplicity. I truly don't know why Mr. Yet to be Thrown Out Lemon worked as a substitute teacher, because you could just see the child hatred in his eyes. Somehow he made everyone in the class feel uncomfortable just by existing. So let me tell you a story about Mr. Yet to be Thrown Out Lemon. We had him in a biology class once, and we were just gonna work on a paper he had to pass out.
Alright, we're gonna be doing a worksheet today. If I hear any talking, you're being written up. This is an individual worksheet, so there's absolutely no reason to talk to anyone at all during this hour. Everyone come up to the front of the room right now and grab a paper.
Acredito, Ana, onde acabou a escola? Hoje é o primeiro dia de férias mesmo. Ontem foi um exame de português, por isso. Exame, já temos há 2 semanas em casa e este foi basicamente o primeiro. Os dias não estão nada bons, na minha opinião. Reparem que não está a vir sol nenhum, estamos já no verão e não está sol nenhum, está uma chuvisca. Eu quero ter o sol para nós começarmos a fazer vídeos lá fora. O problema vai ter, porque não vamos ter vídeos lá fora por causa que não há sol.
Mrs. Grapes does it so each person at a table has a number, and she calls out a random number, and that person just gets up and gets the paper for the rest of the table, so it's easier to—
I will not have slaves in my classroom!
What did he just say? This man just compared picking up papers for other classmates to slavery. Slavery! Good God, So we did it his way. The 34 of us all got up at the same time and shuffled to the front of the room, awkwardly squishing together to grab a paper from the one pile he made for us. You are a fruitcake. He did a lot of other weird over-the-top things, but this was by far the best thing I've ever witnessed from him. Oh,
Okay.
Mr. Yet to be Thrown Out Lemon, you're a real piece of work.
No talking. I'm going to call out your last name, followed by... This...
Caramba, ter um professor assim deste jeito. Meu Deus. Videojogos estranhos que eu joguei enquanto criança. What?
Oh no, that door is not locked. I watched that woman just waltz right through. Let me in right now or I swear to— As a kid, my first video game experience was when my parents got me a Game Boy Advance when I was 5. I would lay on the couch sideways to be under the lamp so I could actually see the game because otherwise it was like playing nothing. My parents eventually got me that big bulky light add-on so I wouldn't have to look like a moth whenever I wanted to play Super Circuit. Those were classic childhood days I look back on fondly. It's weird how technology was so good, but also straight up crap. You can't see the games because the screen is too dark? I don't know, here's a tiny light bulb. I played mainstream games like Pokemon and Mario and Kirby, but my parents also got me really random games they probably just found in the clearance bin at the store,
Provavelmente
which
também.
made for a mix of some interesting gaming experiences. And I kinda wanted to relive the glory days and see if the games actually were like—
Ao longo da minha infância eu joguei muita coisa. E acho que para mim. Desculpa. Para mim, pode ser que provavelmente o meu pai também apoiava muito jogo aleatório que viu. Eu tenho Paper Mario sem gastar, um dos piores jogos que já joguei na minha vida. Está aqui comigo, porque meus pais me deram. Tenho o Dimension 2, Mario 3D Land, que só para falar o Dimension 2 é um dos melhores jogos da minha vida toda. É na verdade. Eu tenho esse jogo porque foi eu que pedi. A maior parte dos jogos que eu tenho são bons, foi eu que pedi. Reparem que o bicho é bom para escolher jogo.
think I remember. So I replayed a bunch of them, and here's what happened. First game, Powerpuff Girls Battle Hymn for the Game Boy Color. I didn't have a Game Boy Color, so I got to play it on my Game Boy Advance SP with half the cartridge sticking out. I also don't remember being able to get past the first stage and just replay the first screen all the time. Granted, as a kid, I loved the feeling of starting a new game and would always restart a Pokemon file because I liked the clean slate feeling. So I was like, maybe I never got too far because of similar
Acredite ou não, eu já fui gajo que foi hater de Pokémon.
reasoning. No, not the case. This game can go die in a hole. I love it, it's my childhood, but oh my god, someone could hit all of them with a hammer, and I would not be sad. You play as Bubbles, which, may I mention, looks weirdly buff. Even as a kid, I was like, is this Bubbles a man? You fly around and collect, like, everything. There's so many collectibles, and I don't know what any of them do. Rings, trading cards, plutonium, hearts, phones, people. But it's almost impossible because the flying mechanics are like trying to control melting butter over a saucepan. The whole game is an ice level in the sky. There's also criminals afoot, and they're ready to fight you. You can beat them up, but I also like how if you just walk past them, they'll square up and then just go, meh, whatever. This guy just straight up has a gun. Alright, who gave the nerd a gun? Ow, ow, stop, ow, stop! Also, what the heck is that? Is he hitting me? I don't think he's hitting
Eu
me.
era ficou maravilhoso
He's
no
spinning
jeito
angrily.
aqui.
Anyway, this game is bullcrap. The levels are huge and way too open for the screen size, so you get lost. Moving around is a nightmare. Things you need to do to progress are cryptic as heck. The first level, you've got to find a key after rescuing Miss Bellum. Where's the key? Under a secret cave that's almost invisible and hard to get to. That's not level 1 material. Oh, why wouldn't you want to explore the area and find it on your own? Because the controls are garbage, and I'm honestly just trying to survive. I stopped playing after getting halfway through the second area because it's all way too difficult to figure out without a guide. I watched this guy stream the game to see if I was just being an idiot with video games, and he wasn't having much different of an experience, so I felt better about myself after that. Next game, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. As
Okay,
a kid, I
yes,
remember really liking this game, probably because SpongeBob was my favorite TV show, so I was excited to revisit it. I was shot down real quick. This game's a platformer with a pretty simple plot. Plankton made a bunch of robots to steal a Krabby Patty formula, but forgot to set the obey Plankton lever to on. And why bother just flipping it to obey when it's already
Mano, eu
down
fiz uma
anyway? So
animação.
now there's robots all
Ela
over
fez
the
uma animação quase igualzinha ao SpongeBob SquarePants.
place, not obeying anyone, and SpongeBob needs to do something about it because Mr. Krabs says they're scaring away me customers. But the thing is,
Tá
the
muito bom.
robots are kinda harmless. They just ponder around and do nothing necessarily evil. Even when you bump into them, they're like, oh, pardon me. This robot can't harm you. This big guy wouldn't hurt a fly. This one takes you to where you need to go. I don't see much of an issue here other than the fact there's just robots walking around. What was that? Does someone have a gun? Oh my god, this one's just a bazooka! So the majority of the enemies in the game aren't enemies. They're more just objects/platforms to help you get to the end of the level. But the thing about this game is that someone put the gravity to like 300%. SpongeBob can't jump high or far enough to cover almost any ground, so most of the time you have to redo a bunch of stuff because if you don't wait until the last little pixel of the platform, then you ain't making that jump. It's so tedious and adds a bunch of frustration to the game. Not to mention the robots you're supposed to jump or stand on move so slow, and most of the time when you get to them, they're moving the opposite direction, so you have to wait for them to slowly float all the way back to you a decade later, only for you to miss the jump because the gravity is bricks. I played through the whole game, and the amount of times I died because I couldn't see the next platform, or had to take leaps of faith, or even just got hit with bullets out of nowhere was torture. Just move the camera, you're making me dizzy. Zoom the camera, I don't know where I can't. Oh my god. I thought the boss levels were decent. They're probably the easiest parts of the game though. The Patrick robot was horrifying and I don't want to see it ever again. I love this game. I have great memories playing it like 13 years ago, but right now it's dead to me. Great game. I played it a bunch as a kid. It can burn in a ditch. Moving on to Barbie Groovy games.
Oh
I
my
know,
god.
It sounds
Okay,
weird.
mas isso-
Jaiden, why did you have a Barbie game? Were you super girly as a kid? No, I wasn't. My parents just gave it to me and I played it because what else was I gonna do?
not play it. Unlike the other games I've talked about so far, this one's just a bunch of Barbie-themed mini-games. Tic-tac-toe, draughts, which is a fancy word for saying checkers, this weird horse racing version of Hangman, Connect 4. Fun fact about me, I will always lose at Connect 4. I think what happens is I just get too focused on what I'm doing to notice the other person winning. I suck at Connect 4 and I'm proud. There's a bunch of other games on there, some suck more than others, but the one I remember the most as a kid was Barbie's version of Snake. Conga Line. I'm not joking. They took Snake and were like, but what if instead of a snake eating apples, it's a bunch of Barbies dancing in a conga line, and they can like pick up Barbies along the way to make a longer line. I love this game. It's stupid and hilarious, and I can't get enough of it. Look at those moves! They are having the time of their life in this bedroom, I think. Also, when you miss one of the girls, it becomes a weird, like, cult dance. Imagine that scenario right there in real life. That's terrifying, and I want it to be real. So the Barbie game was pretty fun. I lost at most of the other games against Teresa, but we don't need to talk about that. It's one of those pick up and put down wherever you want kind of games, and I understand why I liked it as a kid. Finally, we've gotten to the last game. This one's a bit different because it's a plug and play game. I had a couple of these as a kid. The Spongebob plug and play, and the Nicktoons plug and play. And also the Disney
Play
one,
and
but I
play,
don't like
play
it.
and play. Eu já ouvi falar nisto em algum lugar. Isto é o quê? Sei lá o que é plug and play, meus amigos. Não sei. Oh, uau, plug and go. Caramba, que o gajo é inteligente. É um jogo de vídeo. What? Ah não, isto é aquilo. Ok, não tem nada a ver. Eu não sei o que é isto. Vamos ouvi-la.
The Nicktoons plug and play was my favorite as a kid, so I wanted to replay that one. There's a Fairly Odd Parents game that's kind of just Pac-Man, Jimmy Neutron game with ladders and aliens, it's alright. A SpongeBob board game thing you can play with friends. But the games that I wanted to talk about are the Rocket Power one and the other SpongeBob game. There's two, and this is the better one. I loved the Rocket Power one, and would mainly play the plug and play just for this game specifically. It's basically a top-down scroll game where you avoid obstacles, go through flags, and grab collectibles for points. But that wasn't my favorite aspect of the game. I liked this part. You get points from jumping and literally demolishing other skateboarders. My 7-year-old self would go out of my way every level to destroy as many other children as possible. I didn't care how much it slowed down my time. That was not my objective here. Overall, 10 out of 10 game, entertained me for years. The objective of the
Como é que ele se
SpongeBob
chama?
7-year-old self...
Como é que ele se chama?
better one. I
Rocket Power, né? Ok, deixa-me pesquisar aqui. Pai nosso. Rocket League. É uma série. Ok, isto vai ser um pouco. Não, meu. É de GameCube, o que parece. Acho eu. Não. É um jogo de GameCube GBA. Pois eu vou demorar um pouco para saber que jogo é que é. Ok, isto vai ser. E encontrei. Isto era este. Nicktoons, Rocket Power Downhill Skateboarding, é assim que se chama. Ok, eu não sei onde é que estão os emuladores. Ah, já sei o que é aí. Já sei o que é que é. Espera aí. Já sei o que é que é. Eu não vou conseguir encontrar, mas eu posso pesquisar aqui e ver. Eu lembro muito bem o que é que era. Calma lá. Tem uma imagem aqui na minha cabeça. Mano, saudades. Isto aqui era muito estranho. Oh, é isto. Era isto, ok? Sim, ó, meio mais detalhado. era assim mesmo. O controle era assim desta maneira. Podem achar que é muito estranho. Mas sim, ele era assim. Ele funcionava a pilhas. Espera aí, calma. Tu tinhas que ligavas aqui. Aqui eu não lembro muito bem o que era. E eu juro que eu não sabia jogar o jogo direito. Eu nem sabia sequer jogar o jogo direito. Não vou ser sério, eu lembro muito bem do jogo. Mas eu não sabia jogar o jogo direito. Ele tinha um gráfico muito feio.
Hey everybody, welcome.
Tipo, o gajo agora, tipo
Just
assim,
kind of
ó.
slowly going through
O
them.
jogo era assim mesmo. Ó, o jogo era assim. Deixa-me tirar o som do. Ó. Eu não conseguia jogar o jogo. Eu não conseguia. Não sei porquê. Eu tinha uma coisa e. Mano, tu não vais conseguir jogar o jogo. É que nem vale a pena. Mas já, que saudades, mano. Saudades. Vamos continuar.
Loved the Rocket Power one and would skateboarder. That was none of the SpongeBob game was to shoot Krabby Patties into the mouths of everyone in town and grab the money they toss on the ground. I mean, it's not conventional, but I guess there's nothing particularly wrong with that business exchange. Everyone just wants a Krabby Patty, so as long as you don't run out of patties, you can kind of just shoot them at whoever. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that, man. I didn't. Alright, besides that guy, you can just shoot them at. Oh no! Is that kid dead? What happened there? I mean, he looked not too upset about the fact I just popped his balloon while he was dangling 15 feet in the air. I guess the world moves on. I'll just not think about it and keep doing this Krabby Patty stuff. To make a longer line. I love this game. I just shoot them at whoever dangling 15 doing this Krabby Patty stuff. Alright, cool. It didn't hinder me at all in the end. It was for the greater good. Another 10 out of 10 game. That was my nostalgic trip down weird video game lane. It was surprisingly fun and also not fun to revisit these old games. Opening them up again and seeing the graphics and hearing the music gave me immediate flashbacks to when I played them 15 plus years ago. But also trying to actually beat them made me want to never play them ever again and kind of tainted the illusion they were good and fun games.
É incrível porque talvez daqui a uns anos eu vou olhar para o Luigi Mansion 2 e eu vou dizer assim, mano, que jogo feio. Pela possibilidade que os gráficos estão a aumentar, eu vou olhar para o Luigi Mansion 2 um dia e vou dizer, mano, que gráfico feio, que jogo muito podre, mano. Não estou a brincar, em algum dia eu vou fazer isso. No futuro, daqui a uns 10 anos, 20, provavelmente eu vou agarrar num 3DS ou no meu 2DS, se alguém estiver vivo e na hoje, vou agarrar nele. E vou dizer, mano, que jogo estranho. O que eu vou fazer? Não tem nada. Não tem nada, pessoal. Olha que é o vídeo de hoje. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado de alguma forma. O canal é muito bom, como eu disse. Eu vou deixar todos os vídeos na descrição que eu vi. Então, já avisando que o canal é algo mais animation, eu vou deixar o link na descrição. Muito obrigado. Eu vi 3 vídeos, já está com 40 minutos. Então,